All right. Welcome to our weekly webinar series, Agency in Your Pocket, brought to you by 123getfound.com. This webinar series is part of our private Facebook group. What you get from our group: weekly educational webinars like we're going to be covering today. This is where we bring in industry-leading experts from around the world to give you in-depth marketing knowledge unlike any other group in the entire world. We also do weekly hot seats when available. This is where we will break down your toughest business challenges and make sure you leave with a solution. We have open office hours, so this is a chance to pick my brain and ask me anything marketing related. This is your chance to get answers for free that clients pay literally thousands of dollars for. Multiple bonuses will come in through the group, which includes landing page templates, tips, tricks, and all kinds of checklists and everything else. Here's where we start. We start with you, where you are today. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What's your vision? How do you want your company to be perceived? How do you want you to be perceived? Where do you see yourself in 1 year, 5 years? Then it's time to build. We create the foundation, we create your roadmap for success, and we take care of the weak areas. Then it's time to implement. We take action, put the plan to work, and generate sales for your business. Then it's time to learn. This is where we're going to measure the results of what took place, and that'll help us determine what steps to take next and how to scale your business. We teach on 3 core principles: getting found, getting results, and getting smart. For more information, go to agencyinyourpocket.com. Today's guest presenter is Steve Brosman. Today we're going to cover the Authority Sales Blueprint. This is your step-by-step guide to converting your opportunities into dollars. Why should you listen to Steve? Well, Steve is known as the Authority Catalyst. He's an international speaker, consultant, and author. His latest book, Stand Up, Stand Out, or Stand Aside, went Amazon #1 in just 12 hours. Steve has developed and licensed businesses into 5 countries and invented an environmental product which sold over 4 million into 26 countries. He has over 20 years of TV and video experience, including hosting and producing his own TV show for Channel 9, and has appeared on shows on every network in Australia, plus Asia, Europe, and the United States. Steve, that's quite a mouthful.
Yeah, I sit back and look at that and I thought, geez, I'm only 22. I wish. Hey, Jared, how are you? I'm excited to be here and share this with your people over there.
Yeah, I'm so glad to have you on. So I think you should have control so we can turn over the screen. I think you bump me off and then you can share your screen and we can cover what you want to cover.
Okay, I'm looking for me having the controls. I'm looking for more than just sharing the screen here, so I can actually just go straight into, okay, if I'm sharing desktop, I want to take the control and share the screen. We'll stop other sharing the screen. Do you want to continue? Yes. Share screen. I still don't have mine up. Yes, it's coming. Okay, right now I've got my control and we are going to the beginning. Now, do you see it in presentation mode or do you see it just in a normal mode?
Now it's in presentation. Or no, well, I see your slide.
Oh, cool.
But that's okay.
That's easy. I can just go straight to slideshow and we'll take up the whole screen because it just looks prettier. Okay, thank you so much for the intro. And let me give some background, because as I'm talking about some of the stuff that I have done, there's always some learning experiences all about this. And that just highlights some of the TV and video background that I have done. Look, I've been in business since I was 15. And looking back at some of the work that I'm doing, creating authority sales boost blueprints and things like that, I keep going back to all the things that I've done since I was 15, and all of this has been working since then. What I'm going to share with the people today is not brand new, but the way that it is utilized and how people can implement it into the different tools that are available now is new. So what I want to teach today is something that's really going to future-proof their business. It's not going to rely on Facebook. It's not going to rely on live streaming. It's not going to rely on Instagram or the latest tools. It's something you can take from one platform to another. Now, one of the things I'm going to be talking about today is all about being an authority and being seen as a leader and authority in the market out there. And a lot of people get really scared and say, look, but I'm not an authority. If you do something and you help people, you're an authority. You're an authority on exactly who you are and what you do. And when you move from just your job category into an authority, be seen as an authority, it makes a massive, massive difference. Or as I say, when you move from an A, like an accountant, a professional, or like a financial planner, an A into a V, your fees go up and you certainly stand out. Now, I was a video marketer, a business coach, a branding specialist. And I looked at it and I said, well, go back to the outcome what I actually provide. I help people uncover their authority status and be positioned as a leader out there in the marketplace faster. So going back to my old 6th class science days, that's what a catalyst is. It's something you add to a chemical reaction and speeds it up. So basically I went from A, lots of things where everybody else could be, to the authority catalyst. And for the last couple of years, I've been known as the authority catalyst. And that makes a massive difference when your title is outcome based. So that's just the opening slide that we've got. Here is the very quick snapshot of where I've got to now. I did start my main career in business in the health and fitness industry. I opened up a health club in a country town, and within a very short period, there was 5 gyms in 5 miles, and the town only had 50,000 population. It was damn competitive. So it was diversify or die. And I had and still have a passion for kids' health, fitness, and anti-obesity. Started a kids' club, this Gym Jam club here. I had 15 kids at one location. I said to my sister, I said, this is going to be an international network. She said, shut up and get back to work. And I thought, okay. Never got put off by my sister at all, but she came from a banking background and I would have expected her to do that. So within a very short period of time, we got ourselves a regular gig on the regional TV show. We expanded to 27 locations in just the Hunter Valley alone, and then licensed that within 5 years into 5 different countries. Now, here's another marketing lesson. This weight loss program down here, it was the period of time when all the weight loss clubs were coming to town. They had those trimming and toning tables, and the Jenny Craigs and Gloria Marshalls, all of those things were just selling weight loss. And they were selling it for thousands of dollars. And as this poor old gym owners, we were only selling our stuff for hundreds. And there was a meeting with the heavies in the fitness industry looking to lobby the government about stamping them out. And I thought, well, we're stupid. We're selling the wrong stuff. We're selling hard work and sweat. They're selling aspiration. We're selling perspiration. Now, I was like, well, what are we doing wrong? So I went and hired one of the managers from one of these weight loss centres. I already had a dietitian working for me, and we already had great programs. So I set up Shed and Shape budget weight loss, charged twice my gym membership. It was way less than those other people were charging, and we sold out. And the other clubs were saying, well, what are you doing? I said, I'm selling what the people want, and I'm delivering what they need. The trimming and toning routines that they were doing were actually just our standard low-impact aerobics. And this is a massive lesson for anybody out there marketing. It's the marketing 101, as you know, Jared, is enter the conversation that's going on in the prospect's minds. What are they thinking about? But what most well-educated people is they don't enter the conversation with their language. They want to talk about it the way that they want to talk about it in their own intellectual language. So what I was doing is I was speaking the language of the prospect and sold out. Again, all the gyms wanted to find out what I was doing, so I sold it to them. I licensed it into 2 countries, and it was very, very simple to do. This last one was a step away, and it was not that long ago that I saw an environmental problem. It was when smokers were being kicked out of smoking inside buildings. They went outside, and there were cigarette butts everywhere. So I said to my mate, we've got to do something about it. So I looked at it and I thought, well, everybody should carry a personal ashtray. It just makes sense. And I said, why aren't they doing it? And that's the question that my business partner then said, that was the question that started the company. Why weren't they doing it? And if you see down here, the personal ashtray had the shape of a bum, a human bum. Here in Australia, we call it a butt. And we had a company registered in America as well. We sold thousands actually hundreds of thousands into America. So I put but and but together, put it together. Another key lesson here is we didn't sell the product. We didn't sell the butts out itself. We sold the solution. We sold cigarette butt litter reduction campaigns. So instead of trying to sell a personal ashtray one at a time, we would go to the people who had the biggest problems, the councils, the governments, the companies that had to keep their places clean. So we, instead of selling them in ones and twos, we would be selling them in 500s up to 500,000 lots by selling a solution, not the product. It went massive, it went global, and the results before we actually sold the company were we sold 4 million in 26 countries and rated one of Australia's top 50 coolest companies. Again, on this page here are a lot of marketing lessons that started way back in 1984, and those exact same lessons are very appropriate today. The other reason I'm showing you this is that I don't come from a theory background. There's a lot of people out there that learn something and then teach it. This is all practical stuff that I've invested my life into, and my life relied on being successful at just doing these. This is some of the stuff that I've done. We did some kids' TV shows, both sides of the camera, executive producer with Warner Brothers. So it made sense that when the internet caught up, then with videos, that I got into video marketing, and that was the next step, and that's how I transitioned from that. Turn the clock forward only back last year that Pam and I were invited to go and spend a week on Richard Branson's island with him and a high-level mastermind group. The point here is, did I get there because I was good at my job, or did we get there because of our positioning out there in the marketplace? And the answer is obviously the second one. Obviously we're not bad at what we do, but it's the positioning. And that leads us straight into the real theory about what we're talking today. And I've got a saying, and if they've got a pen handy, write this down, tattoo it on the back of your eyelids. I don't care where you put it. Your perceived position predicts your profits. That's it. Your positioning out there in the marketplace will determine the value of what you get paid, and it's going to help you. And it's going to help you stand out. The book is called Stand Up, Stand Out, or Stand Aside. And in my typical Aussie way, I really did want to call it Be Different or Bugger Off, but but my wife is probably one of the she's at least the leading Amazon guru here in Australia. She said, "Steve, you can't do that." So I listened to her for once and called it Stand Up, Stand Out, or Stand Aside, and that's it. You've got to stand up or stand out, or get out of the road. And in the first chapter of the book, it's not just stick your head up and have a look. It's stand up, stand out, and sometimes that causes a bit of pain. But if you don't go through that pain, you're not going to get the reward. So that's the first thing here. It's all about your positioning out there in the marketplace. And this is what we're going to go through today very, very quickly. It's the Authority Sales Boost. And this is the blueprint that I've been using for the last 12 months. I've had another couple of blueprints, different ways that I've been explaining what I do. But this system is working so well that, in fact, the results have been phenomenal with some of the people. And you've seen the results from one of the people that we're connected with, Michael Griffiths. After a short seminar late last year, 4 of the students that have implemented this into their business within the next 30 days, collectively, just 4 of them, 4 business sold $625,000 worth of coaching and consulting and training by utilizing this. Having a blueprint, having this system or having their own system turns the intangible into the tangible. They can actually see the system, buy the system, and not yourself. And I'm going to go through it very quickly in the next 30 minutes. Self, system, sell. It's very easy to remember. It's got a good title. The title is what people want to buy, and I'll talk about that when we're talking about the system. First and foremost, and we do spend a lot of time on working on your magnetic positioning. When people think about I'm not the authority, there is no one authority. And you remember that you don't have to be the best in the world. You just have to be the best in their world. So if you're going to provide some great value and business or life-changing experience for your clients, then you're an authority on exactly what you do and how you do it differently. So get over yourself and claim your positioning. The other thing is, if you go into a bookstore or you go to Amazon, there's not one book on how to lose weight. There's not one book on how to get fit. There's not one book on wealth creation, is there? So
Right.
there's hundreds and hundreds. Therefore, each of those people who know something different and do something different have a right to have a book, have some videos out there, and to claim the authority on what it is that they particularly do. And that's what people have to get over themselves first, and then take that position. Now, once you've created that magnetic positioning, and throughout this, I'm going to give practical examples of people, real life people that we've done this with recently, so that your people there can say, okay, I'm more like that person. Wow, that was so easy to do it that way. And that's what we're going to go right through. It's not theory. We're just going to show practical examples so your people can take away and implement how to do it themselves. Once you get your positioning, then I talk about what I call the holy trinity of positioning marketing: videos, books, and speaking. Videos, and now you've got live stream, even faster. Videos is the fastest way to be seen as a leader and authority out there in the marketplace. Turn on the camera, switch it, do some live streams, give some good content. People will look at you and say, wow, they give some great stuff. They know what they're talking about. They're a leader in that particular area. A book is still the most powerful way. Unfortunately, most people write books to do a brain dump. They don't write a book to use it as a marketing weapon. My book generates somewhere between $10,000 and $12,000 per month, and I don't sell a single book. It's a part of a marketing funnel. There's videos in the book. There's links to have a taste of my coaching. So when you use the book the right way, it is an absolute weapon. If all you want to do is dump what's in your head into a book and say, I've got a book, it is the biggest waste of time and effort that you could ever do, because writing a book is not that easy. And unless it's going to make you money, there's no point to do it, unless it's life-changing and you're going to help a lot of people out there. And speaking is the most lucrative. Getting in front of people, whether it's virtual or whether it's in face-to-face groups, speaking is the most lucrative skill that you can actually develop. Then we're going to be talking about the system. We'll do that separately. And then we'll talk about how easy it is to sell what you've got by using the Sales Blueprint system. So let's get on. Creating your magnetic positioning. First and foremost, it needs to be outcome versus occupation. What is it that you provide your people? And when I'm working in our seminars, boot camps, or one-on-one, is think of the last 3 clients that you provide great value, and what was it that you provided. So when your title is outcome-based or occupation-based, then it actually creates that intrigue. A quick tip, I wasn't going to throw it in. When somebody does a 15-second elevator pitch, they try and cram as much about them and what they do as possible. Hi, my name is, I'm an accountant, I help, blah, 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 my website is this. Yeah, people make a judgment of you. The purpose of your elevator pitch or your own introduction, if they want to write this down, is to intrigue, not to inform. So that when you introduce yourself, it's basically what you want them to say next is, wow, that's interesting. How do you do that? And that opens up the conversation. So your title should be interesting. I've got a whole list of them so that we can quickly go through and say, oh, we've turned it from this person into that. Build your authority: collateral, videos, books, and speaking. First and foremost, you still need to be authentic. You can't make yourself up. So it is a positioning of who you are, but in a way that people find magnetic, as in they're attracted to you. Here's a real quick example of a guy who we call them a mortgage broker. They just organise the cheapest home loans for people. And there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them across the country. And all they ever say is, I can get you the best home loan. Well, that's what the other 10,000 say. So how do you stand out? It's, I can get you the best home loan. They all get them from the same finance institutions. They have no standout positioning whatsoever. So we looked at what he wanted to do, and he wanted to help people get loans to start getting an investment property portfolio. So he became a property portfolio strategist. Nobody else was calling themselves that. So therefore, he became Melbourne's leading property portfolio strategist. And inserting how we use videos, it was a very simple set of video emails out to the people that he had sold or organised home loans for 2 years prior. Never spoken to them in between. Very simple, in front of the webcam with a little bit of branding behind. Hey, Mary and Jim, it's Matt here, just seeing how you're going. Really enjoyed getting your home loan. Normally after 2 years, people looking to get their investment property, just letting you know you're doing that. Look, to save your time, I'll give you a call on Tuesday at 4:30. Just see if there's anything we can do with you. Blah, blah, blah. Love you, Matt. Okay, very tongue-in-cheek. But a lot of email marketers and things like that talk about open rate, click-through rates. I'm going to cut straight to the chase. We started with 16 to start with, and we kept on sending them out in batches of 10 to 20 at a time. His first 16, we got not only 16 open rates, not only 16 click-through rates, but 16 appointment rates. And they were smashing their business just by doing that very simple formula, getting back to people they'd worked with, using videos, because that spurred the emotion. They remembered the good feeling, the experience that they had with them, the trust they had with them through that video when they dealt with them before. Not an email, not just words, but, there's Matt again. You're such a great guy. Yeah, got us a really good deal. Yeah, let's get back and let's have a talk to him. And they were going so well. This big law firm at the top end of town in Melbourne said, what are you guys doing? We're doing all your conveyancing work. You guys are going really well. Within 6 months of changing everything around, they merged. They went from these premises here, the brick premises, to the top end of town within 6 months by just changing their positioning, changing some of the ways that they were doing business and inserting videos in there. So it's a great combination of just doing that. Now, are you able to read that okay, Joe?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got the top one there. He's a mortgage broker. I'm not going to go through all of them. There was a pharmacist. They don't stand out that much. A naturopath. They're a yoga instructor. Not many, in fact, there was no pharmacists, chemists, that were also naturopathic qualified. So she became Australia's leading natural and traditional pharmacist. A guy who just did internet security, but at a high end. We looked at what he did. So instead of just being, I provide internet security, well, I'm just going to go and buy Norton 360 or one of those things. He was a cyber protection architect, a trademarks person, and she worked with businesses that were growing and that needed to protect all their assets as they went forward. So she was a growth protection strategist. And if you look at the letters at the end, GPS, she will guide you through the minefield of trademarks as you grow your business. So, yeah, and an insurance broker, a guy who sells insurance. Geez, they're wanted. He's like, I'm an insurance broker. Hey, let me out of here. But he said, I just want to help people protect their lifestyle because most people aren't covered. So he became a lifestyle protection specialist, and insurance was the vehicle to do it. So, yeah, you're going from just being categorized by the occupation to being defined by the outcome that you provide people. An amazing turnaround with all of these people by just changing this, and they become more attractive and magnetic in their positioning. So for all the people that are out there watching this, if they pause it and read it and say, well, I'm one of these sorts of guys, then take it and use some of the different formulas that are in here to do all of that. This guy here, it can happen in a matter of minutes, and there are a lot of people out there that do a lot of really good stuff, but people, Kel, he worked with businesses. He helped them get some growth in their business, find out what they needed, went and got government grants to pay for training, implemented the training and helped them grow their business. And he said, Steve, how do I say all that? And I say, I forget all about what you do. What are the benefits? And they say, well, businesses come to me and I help them grow their business. I said, well, do you take the pain away because you can actually go and find the money to pay for the growth of the training? He said, yeah. I said, would that mean you're taking the stress away? Yes. So you're a stress-free growth specialist. And he said, I guess so. And he said, that was amazing. He got on the phone with someone that afternoon and used those exact same words. And he said, it is just so different now like he says, my life changed. Well, I guess his business and everything changed because he can clearly articulate who he was and the benefits that he provided. And one of the other sayings, if they want to write this down, stick it on the wall: clarity equals cash. And that's the real focus of what we do in this whole thing, is get real clear on how they can position and articulate the benefits of what they do very, very quickly. Now, we're going to move on to the system part of it now, because this is where some of the magic happens. And a lot of people are charging dollars per hour. And they say, well, you know, what are your rates? Well, I'm $50 an hour, $100 an hour, $200 an hour. I said, well, you've got to get out of that, because the minute you say I charge X dollars per hour or dollars per session, you've got a big red arrow pointing at the money saying, please compare me on price. So you get away from that. One of my clients, they're a leisure centre organisation. They run multiple leisure centres. And just after we started, he said, Steve, we have to drop our personal training prices because it's pretty cutthroat out there and we can't sell it. I said, well, how are you selling it? And he said, well, we're X dollars per single session and X dollars per 10-pack. And I said, well, there's your problem. Again, you know, it's putting the price up there and say, please compare me. And if that's all you're doing, then the cheapest wins. You're going to put your fees up 15%. You're going to construct a rapid weight loss fast start program. You're going to include an eating diary, a training diary, and that's about it, with a couple of consultations, which they would normally do in personal training anyway. And the next weekly call, he said, Steve, you wouldn't believe it. I said, I probably will. He said, but tell me anyway. He said, we have sold more in the last 6 days at the higher price than we sold in the last 6 weeks. Again, it's outcome-based packaging. That's the first little one we've got here, outcome-based packaging. So what is it that you do? What are the benefits that you provide? And how can you articulate that in the packaging and programs that you do? And so outcome, not input, not dollars per hour or per appointment, programs, not sessions. You have to find out their needs, their wants, and most importantly, their why. So that's all part of the sales process. But then you package it up and position it in a way that people will say, that's what I want. I want that outcome there. Now, this guy here, very quickly, a podiatrist. I'm sure you've got them called exactly the same.
Yep.
They fix feet. What else do you do? We fix feet. Okay, so looked at what he did. He treated people slightly different in manipulation, not just doing orthotics. So I said, you work more functionally with the people. Yeah. So you're a functional podiatrist. And he said, never heard that before. I said, that's great, because you're now Southeast Queensland leading functional podiatrists. So we swapped him around. The new treatment packs that we've got there, because he did a lot of work, he was leading up to fun runs and marathons and had a lot of athletes coming, we called them an athlete's performance pack, not just a 10-pack of podiatry. The athlete's performance pack was basically a 10-pack of podiatry plus a diary. It was their training diary. So they had to record, you know, the miles they did, the pain they felt, and then bring it in and they'll talk about it, which they probably would have done anyway. But it was packaged. Athletes like to increase their performance by speaking the language. We are going to help you train harder, run faster, less pain. That was the mantra of the whole athlete's performance pack. And when we first started, they were doing 90 visits a week, and it was just on 6 months, we more than doubled. And that was incredible. It was, again, nothing fancy, no external marketing, nothing about, you know, all your Facebooks and things like that. It's just positioning and packaging. And that's where a lot of people don't get it. In fact, this week alone, 2 people have come to me and say, Steve, I need a hand with my marketing. And I look at it and say, well, you need a hand with your positioning and packaging first, because unless you get that right, you're going to waste a lot of money marketing. And that's where people get into trouble. They spend more and more money marketing the same, I'm going to be blunt, the same crap as everybody else, and think that extra marketing is going to make a difference, where the big difference is at the front. You put it in a better box, a prettier box, a more attractive box, people will buy it better. And that's the thing. Okay, now the system itself, creating a blueprint. Now, the difference between system and blueprint. System is actually the way you do things. The blueprint, like this, is the emotive journey that you could take them on with this piece of paper or a screen in front of them, so that at the end they will say, wow, that is what I want. And there's a couple of things here. It needs to be outcome based. We keep saying that. It needs to be a unique solution. And we are going to talk about value pit stops in a minute. And that is one of the key to having a very successful blueprint, is to have just choreographed value pit stops. And let me just show you what they would be. And let's go back to the beginning and say, Jared, you're in an industry, you're very competitive. What would it mean to you to stand out in the marketplace, actually have people coming to you, knowing who you are, what you do, and save a lot more time having to explain yourself over and over again? Would that be of benefit to you?
Absolutely.
Okay. What would it mean to you by standing out and being seen as a leader to be able to increase your fees? Yeah, let's just say 10%. You don't need to give me a number, but let's just say there is a number of an extra $2,000 a month, just to pick an easy number. That's a value pit stop. So what we're doing now is, when we get to the sell part, we'll talk about it a bit more, is we're collecting value, tangible values along the way. And we're just writing it down. So at the end of it, you can go back and collect all of that and say, well, wow, if we put this system into your business within the next 3 months, it's likely, because we've collaborated, we've used your numbers and your feeling, it's likely that we'll generate X thousand dollars extra per month. Does that make sense? Yeah. Would it also make sense that we implement this sooner rather than later? I've jumped ahead to the sales. I can't help myself. And that's, when we talk about high pressure sales, that's as high pressure as this is going to get. So let's continue with the actual thing. I love this slide because I tell everybody that they've got to have a system or a blueprint. And if you hang around Michael long enough, now that he's been indoctrinated and he's got his own from coming to my seminars, he tells everybody that they should have their own system or blueprint. Now, it needs to be memorable and outcome-based, easy to follow, visually appealing, create those pit stops, and it's to inspire, not to inform. You're not there to educate the people on what you do. In a longer seminar, I go into more detail, but here's a quick thought process. When people say, but they don't understand what I do, they don't have to. They have to understand two things. They have to understand that you understand them. And that's why the questioning and understanding what their real needs are crucial before you even start the blueprint and telling them what you do. The other thing that they need to understand is how what you do will benefit them. They're the only two things they need to understand. So you need to inspire them and future pace so they know exactly what's going to happen when they implement it into their actual business themselves. Now, here's another very, very classic example. If you've got some life coaches that are going to be part of your program, health and wellness coaches, spiritual coaches, this is a classic example because it does work for people in that genre as well. Very quickly, she did not have a clue what she did. She just helped people. She was just very intuitive. And so I said, what's your system? She said, I don't have one. So when we went through a process, we actually did uncover that she had one. It seemed that she worked with people that had a money mindset blockage, and she was able to fix it. She would work with them to clear the blockage. Then they would be doing some stuff, and then they would receive abundance. Okay, her words. And she said, but we need to be able to work with them to prepare. So we need a 3-step process. Normally I'm just helping them, one session at a time, and they only come back to me when they're totally stressed. So I said, okay, we're going to package it. You're only going to sell 3 sessions at a time, and you're going to clear, prepare, receive. And if you look down the bottom, we created the Wealth CPR program. Clear, prepare, receive. So it was basically, if you've got a problem, we can give you CPR on your money blockages. And not knowing who she was or what she did herself, when somebody said, what do you do? No way could she explain it. But after we looked at it, she was a wealth and abundance breakthrough specialist. And people thought, oh, I get it. Started running some seminars, put some group programs together. She actually had programs with some groups and actually more than doubled the income and she was doing 25% less face-to-face time. Again, positioning, packaging, using a little bit of videos, and speaking. So right back at the beginning, it was that crucial part that when you don't have to do all of them, you don't have to do videos, books, and speaking. She just used a little bit of video, and she also used seminars and workshops. And it's a great system to be able to get people together. Okay. Now, when you have a system, you can take and charge a lot more. Pam developed a book writing course. She wrote her first book, 35,000 downloads, bestseller. Did another one, got another bestseller, and people said, how do you do it? And Pam is a brilliant course creator. She said, well, let me teach you. So she was selling her book publishing course, writing and publishing course, for $4.97. One of the big promoters here said, hey, listen, we love you to do a national tour, but you need to have a $4,000 product. So instead of just having a course has certain value, and turned it into a system that was very visual and graphic and be able to sell the difference between it and anything else, really turned it into a $4,000 program and product, and with little extra except a 3-day boot camp. So by having a system like this, and just so that people have an understanding on how to use a blueprint, a 40-second sales pitch on this, on how it would be done. Click, I'm now selling to you. Most people that have courses teach you how to write a book and then get out there and publish it. We're different. We're marketers. We're not publishers. We start with the payoff. We start with, what do you want the book to do for you? Is it positioning? Is it leverage? Is it lead generation? We start with what you want the book to do for you. Then go back to the beginning. What does the reader need to get out of the book so you can get your payoff? What is the minimum? What is the exact things that you need to put in the book so you can get your payoff? And it's just like starting with the beginning coordinates and the end coordinates, and then the GPS will take care of the rest. The guided publishing system will guide you through all the mechanicals so that you can actually get your payoff. Now, that was a 90-minute normal presentation, but having a blueprint like this, people say, wow, that makes sense. You have a system to give me what I want. And you understand what I want, because we're talking about payoff, not just talking about producing a book. And that generated hundreds of thousands of dollars in that sort of format by having a system. And it was a very simple, very graphic system, but it made sense to the people. It's taking the intangible into the tangible. However, some people can get it wrong. Some people want to dump everything that they do into a system. So people go away and say, yeah, I want to build a system. No, you just go away and just throw everything into it. It's the what they do, not what the people are going to get out of it. It's a guy that I've worked with very recently. His name is actually Prosper. So and he's a digital marketer. We had to have prosperity in there. So we created his online prosperity blueprint. And this is what he started with, not what he came up with in the end. We ended like this. And so that made it so much easier to understand, very graphical. I'll actually share some of the results a little bit later. So can you see the difference in going from one to the other? One was just a dump, and this one is very easy to go through, addresses the pains, the aspirations of the people, and it just made it so much easier for him to explain who he is, what he did, and then I have a complete system to generate money for your business. And that was great value for him to be able to do that. Now, here's one that you probably would have seen.
Yep.
It's, and probably would have bought it from. It's Michael's, a great friend and colleague of ours, has and had a very, very successful business. But talking with Denise, who is working with Michael, and she used to say that they used to take 3 20 to 40-minute phone calls to talk to people, answer the questions, tell them what they did, and then get them enrolled in the program. And that's a lot of time. And with the leads that Michael generates, because he is the referral marketing guru and he has a big lead generation funnel, that took a lot of time and obviously a lot of money paying for the people to do all of that. He came to the seminar. He jumped on a plane to Fiji the next day, drew it up, sent it back. Within 7 days, they were using this as their blueprint. Talking to Denise just last week, she said, we're now using this and talking to people. They're understanding and getting excited to enroll within 20 minutes because it's just very clear on the process that he is going to be helped to help them and their business. I spoke to Michael only about a month or so after he implemented it. And I said, mate, you're doing well. Can I have a test? He said, I want to get to 100 out of 100 before I shoot you a video. I said, don't do that. People won't believe you. And he said, so he shot me a video at 67. 67 out of 67 in their first people that they were using this. And a lot of that was from cold traffic. And he got to 87 before he missed his first one. So, but the thing that he said, and this is not a change for your business a little bit, this is a change your business forever. And he just can't, he obviously thanks me, but he realizes this little cog as a part of the overall system is a massive change for people. And anybody that is a professional, a knowledge professional who sells their knowledge, skills, or expertise, sells the invisible, sells the intangible, it's been a breakthrough that I'm kicking myself. I've been sitting on for quite a number of years, been using it myself, but haven't been teaching other people to do. And all the people that I could have helped out there changed their business because of it. But I'm excited now that it's just gaining such momentum now that so many more people are using this process. Now, the sales, because I guess when I'm in a seminar and I'll have 50 people sitting in the room, I'll get them to put their hand out. How many people here love with a passion selling? And to a T, less than 5% put their hand up. And how many people like helping people? To a T, 100% put their hand up. And so when you've got a blueprint and you can run them through the blueprint and you can collaborate and work with them to say, okay, can we put this in your business? Would this work? How would this affect you? What you're effectively doing is giving them a blueprint for success. They can pick up that piece of paper and walk away. But because you've worked with them and you've helped with them, you've collaborated and say, yes, would you like a hand putting that into your business? The closing rate is so much higher. The big thing that actually, the quick story as to why I'm now doing this, I run a mastermind last year, and it was a month on positioning, then the month on packaging, and then we created their blueprint and we taught them how to sell it. And there was some other marketing. The third month, I had a young Asian girl. She had the Indian headdress on, the burqa. She was doing live coaching, hadn't been able to sell her program, and she was just giving it away just for testimonials. After she created the blueprint, which was the emotional journey, the transformational journey that they would go on, and then that afternoon they had to sell it to other people in the room. She came and she said, Steve, this is so empowering, not having to sell myself. I could sell the system and the benefits now, and it's not selling me. I was like, wow, that's really cool. Thank you so much. I was on the plane back home. It was a 2-hour flight. By the time I got home, I had messages on my phone. Steve, you won't believe it. I've sold my first 2 full-priced programs. I was like, wow. And it was then that I said, shit, I've got something here. I really should just squash everything down and focus on this, because I know professionals hate selling and they hate selling themselves. And normally they go about it wrong. They have to resort back to, hey, I'm good, buy me. In this, there is none of that, and that's so empowering to be able to provide a tool for many more people to be able to do some great service. Here's the difference in sales, because I work with a lot of sales coaches, and a lot of them say, listen, what you do is you talk to people, you spend the first quarter of the conversation finding out their needs and building up rapport. Makes sense. Then you do a presentation, a big presentation of who you are, what you do. And then a lot of the sales training, they will talk about overcoming objections. Here's how you overcome objections. They talk about the close. Okay. With the Authority Sales Boost, because I teach you to be seen as the leader and the authority. Put out your videos, your books, your speaking. Normally what happens, they will come to you knowing who you are and what you do. There's a set process to educate them before they even get to you. Therefore, you're an authority. You're standing there. They know who you are and what you do. Very quickly, if somebody comes to me and says, hey, Steve, Jared says I should talk to you. Fantastic. Here's a copy of my book. Read the first 5 chapters before we get to talk. So if they haven't seen anything else, they've got the book. There's got some videos in it. Now, if they run away and think I'm an absolute idiot, that's fantastic. I haven't had to speak to them, so they've self-qualified. If they read the book, they have an understanding of who I am and what I do, then they're coming to me with knowledge about me. And that's a different conversation. The next thing is when they book in for the call, I send them whichever blueprint it is we're going to talk about. So if they've read the book, watched the videos, and they have a blueprint in front of them that they're going to work through, it is a whole new conversation. 9 times out of 10, if not higher, it's how will we work together is the start of the conversation, not if. So by being the authority and attracting them to you with education about who you are and what you do, it changes the whole sales process. Then you understand their needs, wants, and their why. It's then that you bring out the blueprint and you co-create a solution. It's not a sales presentation. It's a co-creating a solution by working through the blueprint. It's a collaboration. Now, what happens in a collaboration, because it's them working with you, coming up with the solution, guess what goes out the window? Most of the objections. Because a lot of it is their thought process of, yes, we should do this. So objections generally go out the window, and the close become the agreed next steps. Not, I'm going to sell to you. It's a whole new way of thinking about sales. And I tell you what, it's a lot more bloody fun. It really is. You know, you work with somebody and say, well, fantastic. So it makes sense we get started on this sooner rather than later. Yes, it does. Great. And that's it. That's virtually the next steps. So let me very quickly do a quick sales around the authority sales bit. So we've already spoken to you. You want to be seen as the leader. It's going to benefit your business. And we've written down that, yep, we're going to get an extra couple of K a month just because of it. If we put some videos out there, your book is going to generate some more. You're doing some speaking. Jared, what would an extra 2 clients per month mean to you? And let's just say that's 10K. So this whole bit here, the positioning, is adding an extra 12,000 per month. So we've written that down. Now, we've got some outcome-based packaging. So we've moved away. So you're not going to be compared on price. You're probably going to win another 1 or 2 clients because you're not compared on price, and probably putting your price up again. So if we wanted to, we could actually put an extra $5,000 here. Jared, you've been through the blueprint. Would something like this save you a lot of time in presenting who you are and what you do?
Definitely.
Definitely. So just making it easy, what would an extra 5 hours per week mean to you? And that's almost a whole day. What could you get done? What would your productivity be like if you got an extra day a week of productivity?
I would love to have an extra day of productivity.
Okay, well, we'll turn that into some sort of tangible. We'll put another, let's just say an extra day, a day off or a day's work. We can write that down there. Now, I'm going to make this real easy. You hate selling right now. I'm tipping you don't, but anyhow, you hate selling right now. How much stress would this take away and your closing rate would go up if you had this sort of a system in your business? And we might put another dollar figure down here. So we've gone through this, Jared, and we've just had a quick discussion. Now, could you see this fitting into your business? And you obviously say yes. So just from what we've done today, we've got 12,000 there. That might add that an extra 5 there, 17,000. You've got an extra 5 hours, possibly a day off to spend with your family and have more fun, and you've got less stress selling and possibly selling more. That's $17,000 per month and growing. 5 extra hours off and less stress. There's only one question. Does it make sense that we get started putting this into your business sooner rather than later? That's it.
Awesome.
That is the essence of the whole system, taking the stress away from it all. Just to show you what happens with people who actually do use it, Prosper is a digital marketing agency. He was struggling to sell some of his entrees for $50 to $250 just to get him started. We put that up. He's selling it easily at $2,500 as a first start with him. But the cool thing is he's now built another business teaching agencies to do what he's now doing. So I almost feel like a proud grandfather, him teaching them his blueprint so that other agencies can be much more profitable. And he was, from his Instagram, converting with his blueprint 1 in 3 and 1 in 2 just straight from Instagram, cold traffic. So people are actually using this. He's gone from not being able to sell something for $250, 3 months later selling a $10,000 coaching program to other agencies. I mean, that's a rapid growth. I know you mentioned, the reason I put this in, I put it in last night, is you said you're possibly getting some marketing people, some agencies that are coming in there. This is a transition that somebody has used the whole system and is now using it to teach it to other people. That's cool. That's exciting. This is where it all started. This was my more complicated one that kicked the whole thing off. It's one that I do use for some of my coaching clients. Again, the Authority Accelerated Blueprint. The reason I put that there is the title needs to be the outcome. So that if they wander off and they come back, they keep seeing that Authority Accelerator. Yes, the Authority Accelerator. That's what I want. That's what I want. Subconsciously, they keep saying, I need this. I need this. So putting time into the title is also fairly, or not fairly important. It's crucial. There's a number of different things. There's a whole checklist of things that they need to do. And there's some ways that I help people. I don't have any programs. I'm not doing any pitch today, just saying that there's a variety of ways that I work with people. And I do group training and mentoring, face-to-face seminars and workshops. Australia is gorgeous at this time of the year. I live on the Gold Coast, so if anybody wants to fly over, there's some good stuff happening, some mastermind groups and some one-on-one coaching. So if any of this was of value, that basically if they want to contact me in some shape or form, just go to steverossman.com/contact and you'll be able to get a copy of the book, get a copy of the blueprints, and we can start a conversation. And it's as simple as that. So on behalf of the people that are there, do you have any questions that are coming through or you'd like to throw at me? Because I've smashed as much as I could in a very short period of time for you, Jared.
Yeah, I'd just like to say that this is more critical than ever in 2017. We live in the busiest time of all time. And so to be able to cut through the noise and deliver your message with clarity is more important than it's ever been in history. So I hope people grasp onto that.
Yeah, it is. And to be able to, because of digital technology, you can help more people. And as Denise, in her business and also working with Michael, to go from taking 3 40-minute calls to help somebody in just 20 minutes, that means you can actually help more people, certainly make more money because of the digital technology. We now have the attention span shorter than a goldfish.
Yeah. I heard that. That's an actual stat I heard recently.
That's really sad. So when they're looking at you, they're looking at everybody else out there in the marketplace. And if you are a marketing consultant or a digital marketing agency or a something, you're going to be seen the same as everybody else, get paid the same as everybody else, and that's your fault.
Right.
You have it, standing up and standing out sometimes causes a little bit of pain. Can I leave this one big thing? And normally I have it in my seminars, and if we can take 30 seconds on this. The people who get paid the least get paid for what they do. The people who get paid the most get paid for who they are.
Nice.
If you're a doer, then be prepared to pick up pittance. If you're a hooer, then you're going to stand up, stand out, and you will get the rewards because people will gravitate to the leaders, the authorities, but you need to be different. Now, Seth Godin said it's better to be different than faster, better, or cheaper.
Very true. Awesome. Well, I appreciate that, Steve. Thanks so much for sharing everything you got. One thing I will ask you, for people that are watching this and going to do their own, what's the biggest mistake you see people doing when they create their blueprint and then show it to you?
Well, the biggest mistake is actually putting what they do in there.
Rather than outcome.
The big thing is that people, it's all about what it's going to do for them. And the blueprint is not to be a schematic of your business system. It's to be the emotive journey. It started when I was doing video marketing. The purpose of the video, I used to say, is to take the viewer on an emotional journey where in the end, in their mind, they make a logical decision. But that's the same as the blueprint. That's the same as any sales and marketing campaign. So what they need to be able to do is, I'll cut and make it short. At every stop along the way on the blueprint, they've got to think, what do I want them to feel right now? So if they do something and it's a process that they do, think about what the payoff would be and write that down. They can very quickly talk about what they do and how they achieve that payoff in the discussion, but it's all about putting the feelings on the paper and guide them through that. They can talk a little bit about the process as they're going around.
Perfect. Great advice.
Cool.
Awesome. Thanks so much for taking the time to share this with us. I know anybody who comes across this presentation is no doubt going to get a lot of value and save people, hopefully, a whole bunch of time.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. And Jared, thank you so much for what you're doing over there, buddy. And I look forward to certainly staying in touch, working closer with you and helping your people.
Likewise. By the way, anybody watching this, the reason the group is called Agency in Your Pocket is because of a conversation I had with Steve. So.
Yeah, that was a quick conversation and a quick turnaround. It's one of the few things that I'm good at, being able to come up with things like that. So, and that's brilliant. And again, congratulations on taking the action. Well done.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks so much.
All right. Cheers.
Bye.